I just completely blanked. Shelby with the Garden of Eder. I don't know. Thank you for coming in. I'm completely blanking. As you can see, the light's not working. I told Grant to go fix it, and it's now all over the place. I apologize. Thank you so much, Sibley Warrior, for being a new member. I already think you were a member, and you just redid your membership. Thank you so much.
All right, we fixed it though.
Thank
I don't even
you.
know.
It's much better. That was bothering me.
I'm sorry.
Welcome in, Chevy Fish, Skipper Scotty. How are you doing? Dave, Jonathan G, Laura, Derpy. Good evening. Hello, Jesse. And Spaghetti Nona. Thanks for joining us tonight.
But tonight's topic is going to be the 5 things I wish I had known before I got started in shrimp keeping. Can we get the fan going?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first thing that I wish I had known, and a lot of these I'm going to cover pretty in depth to kind of go over all the layers to each one of these, because I've learned quite a few things along the way, and one of the things that I want to talk about in the future is like our 5 failures, or crashes and stuff like that. And it really doesn't have anything to do with anything that I'm going to be talking about tonight. But this is all things that could have saved me money, time, and hassle. So that's why I'm going to share this one with you. And then down the line, we'll have my failures and everything like that. But with the first setup that I had with red cherry shrimp, I had a heater. And I think that's one of the first things that a lot of people think that they need for their shrimp tank that they absolutely do not need. Rather than spending the money on a heater and possibly a thermostat, and then even replacing the heater, all the electricity that you're going to spend when using the heater, on top of the possibility of the heater crashing, failing one way or another, could be the actual reason why your shrimp died. And it could have been avoided altogether if you just did not get a heater in the aquarium at all. So when we first started out, I just had a bunch of stuff laying around. We had bought in a couple of tank kits from Walmart that came with lights and the hoods and the hang on the back filters and a little heater included. So I had some of those already. I just threw them into the shrimp tanks. But I didn't have any issues with my heater failing or crashing. But time after time after time, I've seen it online where somebody's heater fails and cooks the aquarium or cracks and causes some type of electrical surge, or the stuff inside of the heater starts to rust and erode and corrode and cause issues with the aquarium overall. And it happens every year. And there's also a lot of people that think the shrimp need to be at 84 or 80 to 84 degrees in temperature. And that's simply not the case. With the shrimp, you more want to keep a nice, chill environment similar to like a hospital, because hospitals keep the rooms, the hallways, all of it really cold because there's less chance of bacterial infection and fungus infection and stuff like that spreading in cooler environments. And that's the same with your shrimp tank. If you're having issues in higher temps, chances are their immune system and everything like that would be much stronger in lower temperatures, and you'd have a lot more success overall. Your shrimp are going to live longer. They're going to breed just as much, just not as fast, right? So you want to make sure that you keep your heaters out of the aquariums unless you're trying to achieve a specific temperature and environment for some plants and keep shrimp in with it. I would just personally leave the heater out of it rather than get a heater. Invest that money in a lid instead. getting a lid for your aquarium, preventing total dissolved solids from going up with evaporation, and topping off with your RO water constantly. If you use tap water, that's another story and even more issues and stuff like that. But just getting a simple lid. We use the double polycarbonated panels. We cut them to the exact size. We make a little notch for the airline hose. And since there's not a heater in the tank, we don't have to make two notches. And it goes a lot further in keeping environments stable and keeping things out of your aquarium. That I wish I had put lids on my tanks sooner and not invested time and energy and money into heaters. I don't know why I'm so cracky. I think it's from going from these dry, heated environments that I'm not very used to. We felt a lot better once we walked through the aquarium in Georgia. And I looked at Shelby and I was like, it's because the aquarium rehydrated us. Yeah, we had to run the heat last night and woke up with a sore throat again.
Welcome in, Mike and Skipper. Can't wait to see you guys Friday, hopefully. Hopefully everything works out. Welcome in, Bugsy. Serb. Hey, y'all just shipped my order out today. Can't wait to get my shrimps and love your channel. Well, thank you so much for watching. Wish you would have said that earlier. I could have thrown the sticker in the box.
Oh, man.
If you ever place an order from us and you put in the comments that you watch our channel, you do get our specific YouTube channel member sticker only, which is size matters, and it's a yellow shrimp that's all buff. It's cute. But you can only get it by telling us that code word. And that same goes if you see us in person at a talk, to Aquashellas or a club meeting, something like that. We'll get you that sticker. Johnny Best, welcome in. Thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Really appreciate that. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome in, Tube Dog. Thanks for joining us to Getting Nona. Hope you take care. Welcome in, Kelly. It was great meeting you Saturday. That was a highlight of my day. And those little crayfish are so cute and so excited to get those going. Hopefully they do well.
Did you already say thank you? I just wanted to say thank you personally to Johnny for the $5 super sticker. And then also Kelly, thank you so much. I wish I had taken a photo of them to share them online, but my phone died by the time we got home, and I got them acclimated, and now the tank is just unphotographable and whatnot because of the amount of green algae that is growing on the sides of the tank. So I'll have to scrape and do a full water change and get as much of the duckweed out of the tank so I can get some light on those guys and get some photos. But I'm super excited for them. They look super happy. There's one right there crawling at the bottom of the tank where there's actually no algae growing because all the plants are covered. I don't have
my glasses on.
Well, there's one walking right there. So.
I see it. Oh, it's cute. I'm so excited. We really appreciate that.
I realized I had a better tank for those too, rather than with Diana Wallstead's guppies. So
one of these days,
I tried to catch that guppy out of there today, and it's just fast.
One of these days, what we need is to take photos when someone comes to see you at a talk. We always forget that. It'd be nice to share photos of like, hey, this is one of our subscribers that you guys see in the channel, and we got to meet in person. It's just truly something different when we see you in person too. Welcome in, Larry D. Bugsy said, I keep heaters in some of my tanks, but I'm up north, and those are just to keep the tanks about 60 degrees. Yeah, I could definitely, like, some basements will definitely get cold. You don't need them unless you're wanting to mass produce them a lot more. Then yeah, you can keep heaters. They're just a little dangerous. I get a little scared of them. I tell people all the time, like, a Pistos would definitely be like a whole rack in this house if we didn't have to put heaters in them. There are some Pistos that I found that come from Peru that will tolerate the colder and breed in them. But they're a little bit larger sometimes, so it's going to be hard to find like a smaller Peru Pisto that I can breed in cooler water.
But there's, I believe Tim lives in Buffalo, and he doesn't keep any heaters on his aquariums in his basement, and they're all still alive.
Yeah.
If you're after breeding and you want, good actual numbers throughout the winter time, then that's when you use a heater. But my whole thing was that they don't need the heater. They can survive temps all the way down to 20 degrees with ice on top, as long as it's not a drastic temperature change. So
I don't know how that came back on.
I forgot to put the mic on.
They
can still hear
well,
me,
good
though.
thing this picks it up good. Derpy said, I'm a big fan of using external Inkbird temp controllers to prevent runaway heaters. Is that the same brand that does the sprinklers?
No.
Inkbird?
No.
Something like that.
No, that's like Rainbird.
Oh.
But we had one. It's something extra that you have to buy and run and maintain and everything like that. And in my opinion, in most situations, the heater is just completely avoidable. Of course, we keep Sulawesi shrimp. There's no way around keeping heaters out of those tanks.
Yeah, and I will never give my Sulawesi up. I will I will have those until I lose my mind to dementia. And even then, you should keep it around. Maybe it'll keep me sane. And I'll be like, all of a sudden, like in the nursing home talking about Sulawesi shrimp. Oh, man, that would be so wild. Kids come to visit and be like, did you bring me shrimp?
Is that playing?
That is a screensaver of the TV we got. It's real annoying.
It's copyrighted music.
Right,
we're going to get taken down.
Johnny said, you are Grant's missing link. Oh, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. Kelly said, you are kind. You are too. Thank you. Larry D said, got your package. Very lovely painting like the Hot Wheels and stickers. Oh,
did I show you the photo?
Painting like the Hot Wheels and stickers. I don't know.
Larry sent me a photo, and
I couldn't believe we were walking through. Obviously, now Larry's got it, so we could talk about it. But we had just done one of the live streams, and then went to Walmart the next day to do a water change, water change on our car, oil change on our car. Technically, an water change. And we were walking, and it was just a giant bin in the middle of nowhere of Hot Wheels. And we stop once in a while to get my nephew some because he loves Hot Wheels. My brother collects them, so I'll find some random Batman ones. And Grant just picks it's like the first one he picks up, and he looks at me and goes, is this not fitting? And I was like, yeah, like, how do we not? It is literally
I can't click on it to make the
set in stone to get it. And it's like, it's a little car with, it's a hot sauce bottle Hot Wheels. Couldn't believe it. Crazy. And then, so our daughter, we told her about that, and that she should draw something because she likes making unique
she's been doing these hybrid sketches and drawings.
They're weird. But just thought it was fitting. And look at that. It's so cute. It is a fish hot sauce bottle. That thing is adorable. I actually think that's one of the coolest. And then there's that Hot Wheels on your awesome hot sauce bowl. Like, that is just so cool. Like, I just think it's so fitting. I feel so proud that we're a part of that. Welcome in, Zach. How are you doing? Laura's probably here too. How are you?
And we'll be talking more about that after tonight's topic.
Oh, yeah. Kelly's got pictures of your talk too. I was worried about the baby this time. Yeah, they are so cute. I always love them. We used to have them for the longest time, and they just stopped carrying them. And then I'm like, you know what? Why are we not? Because they're really cute. They're really great tank mates. They're just a great overall pet to have. They're easy to take care of. That might be too soft for water.
Oh, yes. Kelly, what total dissolved solids do you keep these at? I meant to ask, and I knew you'd be on tonight. So thank you for bringing that back up.
Yeah, it's so weird to like see someone's name constantly in chat, and then a whole different situation when you get to spend time with them. It is so truly an awesome experience. I don't know if you want to talk about that now or later.
That's what I was trying to. I was trying to put more emphasis on what I just meant on what I was going to talk about later. Is we got the pleasure of seeing Laura and Zach's fish house, because unlike most people that just have a fish room, they are crazy like us, and they have tanks all over their house. So, yeah, we'll talk about that more. I want to get into tonight's live stream in depth, and then we'll go over our week and everything that's going to happen this week.
And Skipper said he'll call you tomorrow. I did tell him you would call. I would say that it would be preferably after. What are we doing tomorrow? Besides my meeting, there's something else. Think of a time to have him call you.
The guy that's coming to get
That's
shrimp
Thursday?
is on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anytime after 12 is fine. What is the lowest temperature Neo shrimps / tangerine tigers can tolerate? So if you have tangerine tigers in the tank, how low could they go? I don't think they can go
we
too
have
low.
people who have basement shrimp tanks, and they have Neocaridina and Caridina reported into the 50s, and no heaters and no issues. If I personally had Caridina tanks and I was trying to raise shrimp and get breeding out of them in the winter times, I might put heaters in the tanks to increase the temperatures above 60. Anything below 60 in some of my Caridina tanks, I don't think I'd be comfortable risking. The Neos, though, send them. They're all the way down into the 20s in our ponds outside, and those are our smaller muck buckets. So as long as you don't have the temperatures dropping very fast, which they shouldn't in a basement situation, that should be a gradual temperature drop throughout the season for an average overnight temperature to become an issue. The tanks would have to be outside.
And Johnny Beth, thank you so much for renewing your membership. Thank you. And gifting a Garden of Eater membership. If you did get gifted a Garden of Eater membership, make sure to email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com, and we will get your discount code to our website out, and then we will send you a YouTube member only sticker. We are currently out of them, but as soon as we get them back in, I will send all of those back out.
We're not very far from placing a big order and getting a bunch of things taken care of, and the stickers will be one of them. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
Wow, you have a low.
But
PDF.
You're killing it tonight. Thank you so much, Johnny Best. You ran through that.
Pain. I'm not gonna go very long, so I literally can't get comfortable. I don't know if I sat wrong.
Pillow? That will help.
Squishmallow.
You want me to get it?
I got it.
So
maybe.
The first one was proper equipment. The next one is where to get your livestock. It's not just shrimp, it's plants also. I'm not going to talk too much on fish, but you can pretty much carry the same thing over with the same philosophy, right? For me, shrimp, my biggest lessons were when I was buying cheap shrimp from importers. Some of them was it was like the first time that the shrimp were brought into the United States, and I wanted to be one of the first ones to breed those. But a lot of times when I wanted to add new blood, there was a lot of issues with the importers were getting culls and then classifying the shrimp as what they are by phenotype and not what they were genetically. So I was getting Pinto genetics in some of my Taiwan bees, and then a lot of the Taiwan bees that I was getting and crystal shrimp that I was getting from the importers, they would be stunted in growth and take longer to grow up. So eventually I learned my lesson, and I figured out it was cheaper for me in the long run if I just spent the extra money and got homebred shrimp that didn't have any issues and were from trusted breeders. And then from there, I could grow out and be more successful with my colonies because somebody else had already done the dirty work in sourcing through the genetics and everything like that. So with however many tanks I have and everything like that, with all the new hype behind certain strains and stuff, I still follow that philosophy today. I didn't go out and import the orange eye neos and everything else that comes new first to the United States, because a lot of those shrimp go through improper channels and they don't quarantine the right way. And when they do, sometimes that takes a toll on the shrimp's health, and their reproductive organs usually take that toll first. And you take away a good chunk of their life where they're made out of rubber and magic, and they can take a lot of stress from shipping and stuff like that. But when they're adults and stuff, they don't do very well secondhand. So buying large colonies and everything like that, I've learned my lesson, and stick with juveniles, stick with homebred shrimp. Avoid putting imported shrimp with your own shrimp, because those imported shrimp could be, the best survivors that just gone through a new scare of a disease, and they've built up immunity to it, and now all of a sudden you've put them in with your other shrimp that have been there for a very long time, and they get like a smallpox kind of reaction where they had no immunity to this new virus, and it wipes out your original shrimp in the tank. And even though the imported ones are fine, they're still not going to breed and reproduce nearly as well as the original colony you had. So a lot of times between that and the genetics thing, when I talked about the phenotypes being the label and not the genotypes, those two reasons, I've stopped adding new blood to my tanks. If you want to add new blood, I'd recommend buying another colony, setting up a new tank for those, and breeding them out separate for a while, and then mixing them up with your own colony.
Welcome in. Oh my goodness, I had it earlier. Jonathan G. And oh man, what just happened? Went like all the way up to the top. Why did you do that?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. And MC Reptiles, there we go. And then Choop Dog said, what day should I attend Aquashella in Orlando? 14th or the 15th?
So I would personally go on Saturday if you want to go and shop for all the rare stuff, rare plants, rare fish, depends what you're after, etc. If you're wanting first dibs on the bigger selection or the nicer variety, you go on Saturday.
People sell out on Saturday. So.
But if you want the deals and you want
leftovers,
more time to enjoy the show, and also you go on Saturday to see the aquascapes being put together, but you go on Sunday to see the finished work. So it's really up to you. Us personally, when we go to like Repticon and other shows, we don't really go to fish shows unless we're vending them and a part of it all. Not by choice. Like if there's something going on here in Tampa and we weren't able to vend, we would still attend. Same with Orlando and stuff like that. But mostly we participate in the sales aspect of it. But if we weren't, I would probably go on Sunday, because I like them deals. I used to go to Repticon and ask people how much for their entire table.
I can never get what I want. It's more like Grant's gonna find a deal.
But it's
some people shop but that's fine.
It's what really got us going in the early stages of the hobby.
For me.
But you go to a table and ask, how much do you want for everything? And they're going to go, I don't want to bring anything home, and give you an incredible deal, because these people are tired. They don't want to go home and unpack and make sure the livestock goes to a good home. They want you to be the good home and for it to go at a fair price, but you're going to be happier with the deal than they're going to be happier with just not having to do the work after the big show. So hopefully that answered your question.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you.
That's enough compliments for you. So wait till afterwards.
JP Jeffries, welcome in. Thank
So-
you for the wilds too. I'm in love with them. Oh, good. I'm glad you like them.
So the second part to where to get plants and shrimp, one of the biggest things that I learned my hard lesson on, we've got a plant addiction when it came to stocking early on. Like I wanted guppy grass and hornwort and java ferns and anubias. And in the beginning of my shrimp hobby, I was going to like every single pet store and buying any kind of plant that I didn't have. And I got scuds and planaria and hydra and all of these things were
Blue green algae
and blackbeard algae and all of these things
The algae
were completely avoidable if I had properly known how to take care of and treat them or known what to look for, because you personally just don't want to buy Anubias if it's come in contact with blackbeard algae or
In the same
Bulbitis and
tank.
java ferns and stuff like that. It's just, why spend that money when you can get it the same price from a more reliable source or an immersed nursery, and they transition very, very easily, tissue cultures and stuff like that. So you can avoid hitchhikers altogether by just buying from a proper source. That's why all of our mosses, when we sell them on the website, we tell you they're completely 100% shrimp safe. They're going to come with snails, but that's safe for your shrimp. The guppy grass, we grow it outside. It's in the description. It could have scuds. It could have dragonfly nymphs and stuff like that too. So definitely have to treat that and whatnot. I don't like guppy grass really in my shrimp tanks, so there's not really much of it growing inside. But
only really in fish tanks.
it is a
I think one
shrimp tank up there, and it doesn't grow very often. So
well, that's just because the light's not over it.
Definitely read the descriptions and ask your sources if the plants are clean beforehand. And then, like when we're at the shows, the plants from the nurseries, the nursery tags, you just got to assume that they could come with leeches or planaria or something like that. So go home, treat them with some no planaria, treat them with some dog dewormer or some alum, or toxify them with CO2 or something like that. So it's just very important to get familiar with your sources and picking out the best one for you.
We were just, who was I talking to? Maybe it was on our channel.
And then the third one was water chemistry. Getting familiar with your water chemistry before I got into shrimp keeping. I wish I had known about GH, KH, and total dissolved solids and RO water and what to test and how to test your pH and ammonia the proper ways and stuff like that. These are all things that, and how much of it is in your tap water and getting familiar with your tap water. These are all things that I wish I had known before getting into shrimp keeping. Maybe if I was a kid getting into the hobby, high school, getting into chemistry or taking my science electives, I would have taken chemistry a little bit more seriously and learned a lot more and gotten a lot more out of it than I had. But when just wanting to get into keeping shrimp, you should definitely figure out the parameters in your tap water. Buying a total dissolved solid pen off of eBay is cheap, like $5 to $15, or on Amazon. But calibrate them or buy a bunch of them, test them out, and make sure they're within proper levels. Or if one of them is just reading drastically off, get rid of that one. Keep the batteries though. I swear those TDS pens are cheaper to just buy a new one than it is to swap out the batteries sometimes. So,
The batteries are expensive.
and the ones that they come with last forever. So we definitely recommend getting a GH and KH test kit, figuring out if your GH is higher than your 90% of people in the United States should be able to keep Neocaridina on just basic tap water and dechlorinator. We're at the Atlantic Club and found out that their water is very, very soft and not a lot of minerals in it. But there was a lot of people in the club that were still able to breed and keep shrimp on their tap water without having to add any other minerals in it. When we were first getting into shrimp, I had actually figured out an RO unit and then was like, oh, well, RO water is also going to be better for the Neos. And I wasn't adding minerals to it. I just read that RO water was going to help my shrimp and didn't do all the chemistry behind it to figure out, oh, I need to put minerals back into the tank. And then I got a TDS pen and I checked the TDS of my yellow Neos that we were breeding at the time. And they were in 70 total dissolved solids. So I always say like that's the lowest that they can go. Maybe they could go lower, but they need gradual water change, especially with like snails and more shrimp reproducing. They're going to be using up some of that calcium. So
Just knocking everything over.
they definitely need the water changes. They definitely need a good food source of calcium and stuff like that. The lower the TDS is and stuff, but it's still possible as long as your GH is higher than your KH. And learning how to take care of the test tubes and cleaning them out with RO water, distilled water, is going to help out a lot of people. That's something I wish I had known in the very beginning because I was getting horrible pH result tests on my first Caridina setup tank. And in the meantime, it was fine because I got a brand new test, only used it on the thing, and it worked just fine. And I ran off of that. So
Welcome in, Seven Fish and Malcolm. Hope to see you guys at the Chicago Aquashello this year. What is the best setup for tiger shrimp?
So this will be different depending on who you ask. Some breeders will say that they do better in Neocaridina parameters, and we've gotten some tiger shrimp to breed in Neocaridina parameters. But for us, they only mass produce and get onto a level that we can sell them and keep up with the demand in Caridina parameters. They might do better in a little higher total dissolved solids than what we keep them with, but because of our house and everything like that, we go for the same exact parameters for everything. So it's easier for us to maintain everything, keep track of everything, and do more tanks that way. But if I was to set up like my perfect and single only tiger tank, I would run low pH with aqua soil and GH only minerals with RO water. But I would probably do about 220 dissolved solids, total dissolved solids, rather than 150 to 160.
And then TikTok said, I'm after a picture with y'all. Sunday is a slower day for us. Saturday, we're usually so busy. But doesn't mean you couldn't stop us and take a picture next to the tank. But getting us both together would be more
if you want
Sunday.
time to talk and hang out at the booth, Sunday, 4 to 5 o'clock is generally my best time to talk. What?
No. I guess since you're stuck at the booth and I'm at the
Right.
shrimp contest.
Sunday is the better time if you want to help out. Shelby definitely could use some volunteers on Sunday with the taking down the shrimp contest.
But after the show Saturday is a good time. We go hang out, get dinner, ice cream, things like that.
We do the same on Sunday, but
Yeah.
we have to tear down before we can go have fun.
So we're
That's
out
the difference.
late.
But if you come hang out while you tear down, those are the most memorable, cherished moments. You can ask Vibes. That's why he's in here all the time, because he's helped out Chevy Fish. We've got Malcolm Reynolds. We've got quite a few people who help us tear down the shrimp contest. Phil, I haven't seen him in the chat for a while.
Yeah.
Richard Reynolds and Cynthia help out when they're at the contest with us.
Make me not have a panic attack.
So,
especially the last Florida show, man, that was rough.
So we definitely appreciate those who want to lend a helping hand on Sunday, but I'm not going to try and encourage that into the equation for you.
Johnny said, how are your grains doing? They're still chugging along, just not enough to multiply into tanks yet.
They need to
split some up.
They need to warm up before we can really let them go. But Johnny,
I think he's talking about the green project or green. Oh, okay, green shrimps.
The Neocaridina, if you wanted some of those, we could let
That's
some go to you, but not open them up for sale yet. If you're talking about the Caridina, sadly they took a step back. The last two batches of babies I got were like all yellow, no greens out of them. So I'm hoping to work these green yellows back into greens now. But yeah, that is a little disappointing. But I've got a bunch of babies growing up in the tank, so they're kicking.
Yeah, tissue cultures are the best for pest free. South of Florida said, why no guppy grass in shrimp tanks? It's not, it's just too much. It overgrows and takes over.
And then roots. The roots are the
yeah.
big problem because even if it's
Like-
floating, it sends down roots. The roots grow out of the water column, fronds or nodes, and then go down. And then when you want to make room to view your shrimp, it always ends up kicking up some of the substrate. And I avoid anything that really spreads and grows like that. Like this dark orange Lugwidia that we have in these tanks right here, it's creeping. Like
I don't know why.
it's bad. Like I'm going to just try and take the scissors and all the way down to the floor. It's such a slow grower, so it's really not that big of a problem. But guppy grass is fast. So if it's faster grower than that dark red Lugwidia, then it's out of there. This crip right here is a problem on top of the Lugwidia. Like some of those tanks are going to need to be
all these
fully
problem.
evicted, all of the shrimp kicked out, and then I have to like remove all of the plants out of there and replant them and let the tank settle for a couple weeks before I can move new shrimp back into them. But
Zach said I'm going to work on all the Glidopher and shrimp tanks. I can see that big of a problem. The only one that I despise in tanks is blue-green algae because of the smell. Like it is intoxicating, and apparently there's some fish that literally eat that. I wish that I gotta figure it out because I'm pretty sure there's a fish that specifically thrives on blue-green algae, and it'd be cool just to have them. But then, like, what am I gonna do after it's gone? Actually, never mind.
I don't know. I'm
resell them to
I'm
someone
ready-
else with blue-green algae. Let's just have a whole colony that just keeps going to people's tanks. It's the worst. It makes my whole house stink when I mess with it and like scrape it. And
I think the blue-green
That
algae
one
is completely gone in Jaden's room and Layla's room.
yeah,
So I'm ready to work on
Maricin
the rest of the
is
house.
what we use from Fritz to treat that. I keep forgetting because there's been a couple people ask. So Maricin is what we treat because it's an actual bacteria instead of an algae.
And
that's why it's got that.
That's
foul
not on
smell.
my
I hate
list.
my thing.
But that's something I wish I had known before I got into
Algaes
shrimp
and
keeping and fish
different-
keeping was
yeah.
that Maricin kills blue-green algae. I wish I had known
Had it a couple
the
times. They come
hydrogen
from plants.
peroxide that we use to kill off blackbeard algae and Cladophora in inert tanks, and Razor to kill Cladophora in
Yeah, especially since we had blackbeard algae at one point, like that, and it was like it just kept taking over. It didn't mean
hold
how
on.
many times we manually removed it.
we bought some tanks secondhand,
Oh yeah,
and everything in that tank had blackbeard algae
So
on
most
it.
of it comes
But everything in that tank was so lush and growth, and it was like hard to get rid of those plants and not move them into other tanks and stuff like that. But it took us a long time to get ahead of it, a long time. And that's part of the water chemistry is learning about organics too, and the buildup of those. And eventually, all of our old tanks, if the gravel isn't taken care of and the substrate overall, the filters are not taken care of, eventually you're gonna get blackbeard algae if there's flow in the tank. It's gonna happen. So when you hear people that are talking about resetting tanks every 5 to 6 years, it might be something where we are going to start doing that just to avoid the blackbeard algae, because I think all of our tanks that are 10 years old, no, I can't say all of them. We definitely have tanks. Our first Caridina tank doesn't have blackbeard algae, so I can't say that.
right.
But a lot of the tanks that are 10 years or older have blackbeard algae. I've been cleaning the filters, though.
No.
I think it's the substrate also.
Maybe.
There's all of those tanks, if you the substrate at all, cloud, freaking explosion.
I thought it was Yeah, is it an oversupply, less
of
flow
of
of
organics.
nutrients?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, and then the fourth thing that I want to talk about, things I wish I had known properly before starting a shrimp tank, was how to cycle it. We personally got really lucky in the beginning of just, I'm ordering shrimp, setting the tank up like the same day the shrimp we get the shrimp sometimes, and it was just not that bad because I wasn't really overfeeding. I wasn't really doing too much to the tanks, and I was observing them at all times that I possibly could. If the food started to get gross, I just took it out. I was doing water changes and stuff like that, and keeping up with the tanks based off of like the information that I found. But I wasn't setting up the tanks, and eventually I was running into issues that I think would have been completely avoidable if I just let the tanks cycle and run a little bit longer and knowing the proper way. Because for a long time I was just winging it, and it would take a generation or two. Why are you looking at me
You
like
sure
that?
you're not still winging it?
Yes, I'm positive. I have
I'm just kidding.
instructions from the actual product management that put the products together on what to do. So, um, but before there's so many different methods and whatnot. And until we started using the Florinbacter 7, the bacteria that we get from Brightwell, and it has 7 different bacterias, and at least 1 or 2 of them should take off and have different functions in your aquarium and helps make that thrive. And then more importantly, needing to feed it at the same time while the cycle is taking on. Just using a simple fertilizer is more than enough rather than dosing with ammonia or a single fish in the tank or something like that. So you definitely uh, get a much better start if the tank is properly cycled. You get shrimp start reproducing a lot faster. They get a lot better growth, and overall, once we started learning how to cycle tanks, that's when I was starting to add on entire racks instead of like, oh, let's add a tank here and a tank here and a tank there. It was, no, Shelby, let's go buy the 72-inch Husky racks because I know what I'm doing now, and I'm not having to watch every single tank for an hour every single day to figure them out. I'm got it. So figuring out how to cycle a tank before you get started in the hobby can definitely help out. And I think that goes for fish also. We were definitely, as younger teenagers, very eager to get fish in the tank as soon as we got the tank set up and running. And, sometimes it's the store's fault. They don't do the best care at treating them, but a lot of issues probably could have been avoided or money saved in our early years if we had ever used bacteria to start the tanks. We just used the chlorinator, and we did water changes, and it was a lot more work probably than what we had to do. You definitely got to do your water changes, but we were doing like complete gravel vacs and cleaning out the filters and everything like that. And it was,
Are you trying to insinuate someone didn't know anything about the cycle of a tank and that was cleaning the tank, once a
not
week
with
with
Dawn
Dawn
soap.
soap,
No,
no throwing
I wasn't doing
accusations here.
that.
Yes, that's something I wish I had known before fish keeping in general. But like obviously by the time I met Grant, and nowadays it's a little bit more readily available where like we didn't have TikTok, we barely had MySpace, like it wasn't something you went on every single day. And if you did, it's kind of like after school and you just talk to your friends for like an hour and then you're like, see you later, and now it's like at our fingertips every few minutes you're getting new information, and it's crazy nowadays the amount of information that we're uh, taking in compared to when we were in high school. So Yes, now I would know, especially if I started researching fish or just looking into things, that I would know the cycle and um, everything, and not to clean it out with Dawn soap and make sure it's freshly clean. I mean, it did grow. It did okay, but just like we talk about with everything, with water changes to feeding to everything we talk about, it's some things will survive and they'll do okay. But are they thriving? Are they doing phenomenal? And um, are they going
We-
to live very long? You know, like a 30-gallon tank was not suffice for a Oscar, and like, you know, it sucked back in the day not knowing something like that. They're like, yeah, this one can because it's a baby. So it's, you know, it's a lot different. Thank you so much for the pictures, Kelly. And Drew was the name I was trying to think of the person that used to be in the club, but I don't remember the conversation we were having that I told you that Drew had said or done something.
Drew's in Alabama though, but that wasn't Drew. That looked like him kind of.
No, no, what? No, the conversation, and I was like, someone in our club is. Maybe I said reminding me of. I don't know now. I'll remember it eventually, but I didn't remember the name 3 days later. Uh, Welcome in, Sleeper Barbecue. Chevy says I love helping. You're always such a big help. I appreciate it. You rent out blue algae. Yeah, like that'd be so funny. Be like, here, this will take care of the problem. Please just let them in there for about a week and they'll do good. Like, I kind of want to know.
Okay, Larry D, I got you.
Larry
Now,
D said CO2 with shrimp, pros and cons.
the pros of the CO2 with your shrimp are your plants are going to look a lot better. The cons are it is not very easy to keep the water parameters stable with out using aqua soil, low KH, and RO water, right? You want GH only minerals if possible, and this is going to help keep the pH stable. Otherwise, if you have an inert substrate and higher KH in the water, during the day when the CO2 is on, your pH is going to drop. And then overnight, when the lights are off and there's no CO2 on, your pH is going to go up. And this is going to happen every single day. And this is going to affect your baby survival rate. Now, what most people don't realize is even red cherry shrimp will do well in low pH as long as the pH is stable. Now, we saw a great example of a nice shrimp tank that was injected with a lot of CO2 at the Georgia Aquarium. And it had about 3 inches worth of substrate, probably at least, throughout the whole tank of aqua soil. And it was gassed with CO2. I'm willing to bet that their KH was very, very low, and this was able to keep and maintain their pH around 6 very stable. And they had a thriving colony of red cherry shrimp in there on top of cardinal tetras, the most beautiful ember tetras you've ever seen. They had a bunch of autosynclus in the tank and something else, I believe, too.
Who does that? Sorry.
If we're lagging, it's Shelby's fault. But it's definitely doable, and it was a beautiful tank. I had originally given it an 8 out of 10, which got the highest score out of all of the tanks in the entire aquarium until Zach pointed out the Cladophora, and then I was like, all right, it's a 7 now. But for an aquarium tank, it
Oh.
was nice. It was done up. What's wrong?
It's recording. I don't know where that was recording to.
Oh,
And we're gonna have to delete the 10-minute long record. Sorry, 15-minute long recording.
but the pros are great if you want nice plants, and if you don't want to do the RO water with the GH only minerals and low KH, then the cons are you're probably going to have crashes with your shrimp every now and then.
So Laura said, "Where do you evict your shrimp into in between a pre-cycled empty tank?" So if you needed to cull a tank and you have no tank for it to be culled to, you could do a little plastic container like the breeding containers. You could put them in there. Um,
Not if it's hooked up to the aquarium that you're doing the cycle in.
in their tank, they already have shrimp in. They can put a breeder box in there and put the shrimp in there to cull the tank and wait for the next tank to be cycled and then put those in there. If I wanted to cull this tank and I had nowhere to put them, I could put a breeder box in here and put the culls in the box
Okay.
and wait till this tank is ready for me to yank them in there.
I thought this was referring to like when you reset a tank altogether and you needed somewhere to put the shrimp in the tank.
Yeah, if that's a whole different situation, then
Sorry.
I would use.
I took it differently.
So I would take the water from the tank you have into a bucket, put the shrimp in there, and an air stone until the new one is ready and cycled.
And it
That
doesn't
would
need to
work
be
for a
fully
while.
cycled either. It should just be settled, and then I would put the shrimp back. It could take a day or two for everything to like settle, and
Unless
I
it's
feel like they'd
lower
be safe.
pH.
But eventually, the pH in
great.
that bucket is going. You want to test the parameters and make sure your ammonia and everything like that is at an all low, and the pH is stable throughout the day. But if that checks out, then I would want to get the shrimp in there as soon as possible, because eventually in that bucket, the pH is not going to be stable.
I've never seen this name in here. I play RuneScape.
Mhm.
Do you play RuneScape with Grantham? And is it old school RuneScape? Grant. Can shrimp minerals be used with tap water if soft out of the tap?
Yeah. In most cases, there are a few different varieties of minerals that you could use. So it depends if your GH is higher than your KH or how high your KH is. If your KH is at least 2 or 3, then I would probably just use a GH only mineral.
Chevy asked, can expired salty shrimp remineralizer still be used? I would test it.
Well, I personally would not worry about it.
Yeah, it's a salt. And most likely it's not. If it was exposed to humidity, is something I would be more worried about. But if it's in the container and it's expired, it's most likely not expired. It's probably just fine.
I've had, I think maybe it was Shrimp King, one of the brands of minerals. Maybe it was
Probably
even
Shrimp
salty
King.
shrimp. Get soaking wet, like it absorbed all. Like I didn't leave the lid or tighten it on all the way or something like that, and it
Sounds
got
like you.
wet, and I still used it, and it had no issues at all. So I personally would not consider the minerals to ever expire. And then even shrimp foods, once they've expired, I'm fine with them as long as they're not moldy. So, and even if they are moldy, I'll probably feed them to the Neo still.
I play RuneScape. Said I wondered if clean eggshells would be safe for shrimp calcium. I could just Google it, but more curiosity. Yes, just make sure you clean them. That's it. I've used them. It's just a lot of work. When you could just go buy like calcium food that'll last forever, and it's like the smallest little bit you throw in the
But
tank.
you can't use it to replace calcium that's missing out of your water. If your GH isn't there, you're not going to be able to ever get the calcium you need out of your eggshells.
I don't think it meant that.
But
I meant that as
if you're
in,
looking for like an extra food rotation, then yeah, but it's going to be better off for your snails than your shrimp. You
Yeah,
don't need to
Chevy
feed
was
that
like,
very
"Kettle bone."
often.
We've used the Cuddle Bone at the store. It's just huge and kind of crazy to break up. But if you're willing to do the work, I'm just lazy. Mike said I still clean my tanks with Dawn when I get one. Yeah, I was cleaning them weekly to clean my tank. Like I had, oh man, what? So, Pet Smart, no, Petco. Petco's Imaginarium, I think is Imaginarium or something is the brand now of those black fake rocks, and I would just wash that out. They're like what? I don't even know what they're made out of, but they're not real rocks. That's for sure. They're like plastic, um, because you could rinse them and yeah. But cleaning the tank out is fine. That those work great because it removes like unwanted stuff in the tank. Um,
We use this hydrogen peroxide now though, and it gets rid of everything. Where Dawn is not getting rid of Cladophora. Should I go on to number 5? I got 4 minutes left. Um, the fifth thing was knowing what shrimp are sensitive to. Everybody thinks that they're so sensitive and that they're so difficult, and the truth is they're actually really hardy. They can tolerate so much range and parameters and different things like that. However, they cannot tolerate things like perfume sprays and Lysol and heavy scented candles and stuff like that. These are all things that could have been prevented for a lot of issues if we had known this early on. But like we learned about the Lysol and Febreze thing because my buddy Eddie was dosing it in his tanks and was finding deaths. And they're also, you know, they don't tolerate the razor, and I lost an entire colony of Bloody Marys because of the flocculent bonded to their gills and stuff like that. But overall, they are some of the most hardiest creatures, and we wouldn't have 500 aquariums if it wasn't for the fact of how hardy they actually are. They're more sensitive to overfeeding than underfeeding. They're quite sensitive to different tank mates. Adding fish into the tank could possibly reduce the amount of breeding that they have or stop them from breeding altogether. And just learning what does affect their breeding and what doesn't. Like the whole thing that they're going to stop breeding in the winter time and everything like that. They might slow down a little bit like that, but they don't stop altogether. So just to recap, I wish I'd known the proper equipment. I wish I'd known where to get the proper livestock and how to take care of it if it was something like a plant that had a hitchhiker on it or something like that. I wish I'd known my water chemistry and how to cycle an aquarium, and of course what they were sensitive to and not, because a lot of people I think freak out thinking that they're really hard, and there really isn't that much to them.
Johnny said, "What's the lowest pH Neocaridina shrimp can tolerate?"
I would say 5. As long as the pH is stable, you're going to take a while to acclimate them down. I don't think you should jump them from like a 7.4 and throw them right into a 5. If you can put them into like 7.4 to 6.4 to 5 would probably be better, easier for them to transition. But I'm sure when that aquarium was first set up with all that substrate and how much CO2 was actually going into that tank, that it was in the low 5s if it was a really good substrate. So,
And then Danya, I can't pronounce that. I don't use anything scented because it's not good for my dog, which in turn is not good for my fish and shrimp. I would also say that most scented things are not good for humans in general. Um, I mean, the amount of cancer that has popped up over the years definitely correlates with the different products that have come out over the years and cleaning products, the Febreze you spray in the air to the Glades. plug-ins to the Glade sprays. There's so many sprays that are just really toxic for all of us. So the less you use them, the better. More natural products you can. It'll be good for your health, your animal's health, and people don't think about their dogs enough, and I think that's a lot of reasons why people lose their dogs sometimes, and especially those people that are like, I don't know what's going on with my dog. I mean, spraying Febreze around your home and your dog smelling that in, it might be one thing for you to chance your own life, but to chance your dog's life is crazy. And it's not something you think about. And I know it's not anyone intentionally trying to harm their animals. It's just we're sold on these commercials, and our house should smell like daisies and sunshine. And, just properly cleaning it, you won't have a scent and you don't need to have some weird smells. So they're just chemicals, not good for anything. Yeah. Yeah. I don't. I used to use Febreze a lot. Growing up, my mother used it because people would come over, and that smell of that fresh home, it was very, very sold to
Especially if you
women.
have dogs. It's
Yeah.
something that if somebody that doesn't have a dog, Febreze is definitely a courtesy thing, because somebody else is going to be like, oh, kind of smells like dog, and it takes a minute to get over that,
Yeah.
right?
It sucks.
Like my uncle doesn't have dogs, and when he comes over to our house, I'm like, Adam, please be honest. Like, does it smell like an aquarium? What's going on? He's like, dude, all I can smell is dog. Like, it's not a bad, like, you just have dogs. He's an electrician, so he goes into people's houses all the time. And when we go into somebody's house that has cats, immediately you can smell they have cats. If they take good care of their cats in the litter box and stuff like that, you can't really tell until you get close to the litter box or see the cat sometimes. But if they don't, you can tell they have cats before you even get to the door sometimes. Or depending on the amount of cats they have too. They could clean it as much as they want, and you'll still probably smell the cats depending on how many they had. But the same thing applies to dogs, and I figured the same thing would apply to fish tanks. And maybe if we didn't have a dog, we'd smell some type of fish tanks.
Dogs or cats. So fish tank is their next option, and they don't even think about it because it's not something you would generally think about, like it being in the air. You're just thinking it's going to smell good. It's not. You're not thinking, because the way it even makes it in the commercials, that it bonds with molecules in the air. But if you watch Febreze, it just literally sprays up and then falls down on your surface. So it's on every surface that you ever spray near. And like, I just can't believe I used it for years and years. And I definitely missed using it when I first had it, because I love it. Who doesn't love the smell of crisp apple in the air? Like, it smells good. If you ever have that feeling, just get some. The wax melts aren't as bad. I can't do them because I have respiratory issues. But as Zach says, breathe, happy Easter right? Won't even spray hairspray around my dog. When I do spray it, I open a window. Even that I don't like. Yeah, it's crazy that we don't like normalize that a little bit more. And where's PETA when they actually need to be doing something that's probably impacting health of dogs on a daily basis in some homes. But we are caught up in chat, and we finally get to talk. Let me ask my question first real quick before we get to talk about our weekend that we had. If you're here, I would appreciate it if you drop a comment, a yes or a no, or maybe a different idea. But I was not able to figure out how to do a poll on YouTube. I am not able to figure that out. I tried doing it. We streamed through StreamYard for YouTube, so I did not know how to do it. Do you know how to?
Nah, but I might
6-star.
just get I might just get lucky, and oh man, what am I doing?
So maybe we'll be able to pick up the poll and figure that out. I think there's a way to do it through there.
If I can make people a mod from here, I feel like this is also where I can set the poll.
I don't
If you know how to make
Yeah,
a
I
poll,
know.
just let us know right now.
That would be nice.
I don't know why my phone's taking so long to load.
Do you have the Wi-Fi off?
No.
That's weird. This said no. I don't know. I tried figuring it out earlier. I really want to know people's opinions on us starting a podcast. I was listening to another one today, and it's been something we've been thinking about for quite some time. And I would love to do some topics, and this podcast would be more of getting specialized people in their field. Let's talk about, Stephen P. and Kelly coming on and talking about aquatic plants and CO2, and then potentially crossing that over with shrimp. But it would probably be like a monthly thing that we would have guests on, and it would be a podcast form instead of like the lives we do. So if you're interested in that, I would appreciate it.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I kept looking it up, and there was like, you have to download some other app. I don't know. But I would appreciate your feedback on whether that would be something you guys would watch, and enjoy. And then let's talk about our awesome weekend.
So I got the pleasure of speaking for the Atlanta Aquarium Society, which is the Atlanta Area Aquarium Association, the quadruple A club, right? And it was a fantastic time. We drove up there on Friday. We got in very late, as we typically do in historic eater fashion, is checking in at midnight or later. And every single time the hotel concierge, what is the person at the front desk, is always like, oh, we didn't think you were gonna make it, and no, it just took us a while. sorry. But no problems checking in. Beautiful hotel, breakfast in the morning, and then got to just take a little breather before we moseyed on over to the venue. Bought a bunch of bags for auctions, so we had to figure out how to get those checked in. Did my talk. Little bit of technical difficulty on the PowerPoint. We had to get a new thumb drive when Shelby did her talk, and couldn't find her old one, and one of them got rusted, and I'm like, I ain't putting this into our computers no more. So we got a new one, figured everything would upload onto the thumb drive fine. And a lot of the stuff just didn't come through. The whole talk was there, but a lot of the photos that I like to show, going through the whole house and everything like that, was missing. But got to nail all my jokes still. Shelby's like, oh no, you missed your joke on how I'm the problem and everything. I'm like, no, I noticed you weren't there, and I usually like to do that joke when she leaves. Like, she'll take the baby out of the room,
You know
and
what?
I'll do that joke.
I didn't realize it because someone came from the room and found me in the other room and was like, they love to blame us women, don't they? And walked away. And I didn't even think about it.
The room had all the women on
Yeah,
the
I figured it out. There was no good names. That's what I
There
was
was
looking for.
two of those women that weren't even paying attention when their photo was being taken. And then one of them looked like, oh my God, I can't believe you have to take my photo. Like, she was not happy that her photo was being that.
Little background on what we're speaking of. A lot of fish meetings are at VFWs, and ours has an entire hallway between like the front entrance and then the meeting room. And on one side of the wall is all the women, and then the other side of the wall is all the men. So when I got to this one, we walked in, and it's like all this nice area, and it's just all men. And I'm like, well, this is ridiculous. Where are the women? And I'm all upset, and the guy at the front desk was just looking at me like, what's your problem? Like, and I'm just like, this is just weird to have no women represented in a VFW. And so like a little later, I was in the back room. They're separated. There's a women's side and a men's side. So that was cool. But further, I looked for names on these posters because it's all the women. And I thought it would be cool to find a name on there that we could use for our daughter. There wasn't. There's a lot of women that were there that actually have men's names. Like a lot of them. Like gym. I've literally seen gyms now on the list. And there was another one, like a man, I can't think of it, but Zach said that would be awesome to do podcast. And then someone was talking about Stephen P. Does the polls, but he streams through that other gaming
ORS or I can't remember what it is. OBS.
OBS. And so OBS, he would be able to help me. But here, no. The only one that would probably be able to help me is Six Star.
No, I think he uses that too, though.
Oh man, you're right. We're using it. The wrong one. Can't say it too loud. They might be listening. There's supposed to be a plus to click. Yeah, I thought so, and I can't find it anywhere.
I think it would be cool to do them, but also bring up people that are subscribers that would like to ask us questions and make those into podcasts too. So it's not just going to be like people like Stephen P and Kelly who are familiar with doing live streams and stuff like that. It could be somebody else on our channel asking us questions or us getting more familiar with them and what they have in their aquariums too.
No, I think Primetime also uses OBS. I think we're the only ones that use StreamYard, honestly. And Papa Shrimp, welcome in. I saw you were here earlier, and I just remembered.
I thought you said hi to him.
Maybe I did.
That's why
Larry said podcast sounds fun and informative. I would definitely watch a podcast with Stephen P. or Kelly. Yeah, see, they're very informative, and it's very good conversations that we always have with Stephen P. And I really enjoy them. So I think that it would be a really good podcast. And a lot of people are always asking those kind of questions. So, sometimes we take our time here and we talk to the people that are commenting, but it doesn't make for a good podcast. So like all of our previous videos that we've done Laura, you're the best, done a topic, I usually interrupt Grant a couple times and talk about the chat a little too much, and we get like a little sidetracked. So podcast form would have to be a little bit more formal, but more informative. So I think that going and doing that different a little bit would be fun. Would you do? Yes, we would. Sorry, we would do both. It would be filmed for sure. Like it would still be a YouTube video, but it would be more formal where I wouldn't be answering many questions. I might bring up a topic that someone says that's pertaining to the topic, like we were trying to do in the beginning with these. But I feel our YouTube has always been more people-centered than topic-centered. So I want to separate the two into podcasts and then our actual Monday live stream so we can still be personable with our listeners and followers, but then still have content that we can put out that are very informative, very easy to listen to.
And if anything, there will be more live streams than just our Monday night ones moving forward. Some of them might not be on YouTube. Like Shelby's already done a bunch of live streams on TikTok. I'm not sure how TikTok works, if you're able to go and rewatch those, or they're only on live. So like if we did something on Kick, that would be like very much the same thing.
Yeah, it'd be more like Aquascaping, more of a adult-centered content, more not like that adult, not that kind, but like we gear YouTube towards kid-friendly content. So no cursing, no bad words. But
Kick might be where we do an entire project that we don't necessarily have the time to cut and edit it, but we still want to share the project. We'll take some photos and stuff along the way, but being able to live stream it, I think would be a lot better. So I think when I do the Kick stuff, I would have to do it on YouTube too, so it doesn't disappear forever. But there's also, I think, in the middle of the week, me and Shelby have something going on. We're waiting on water or something like that. We might do some members only live streams also to try and get back and maybe help out more members that way in some of the earlier hours in different time zones and stuff. to try and give back to the community, especially our members who pay to get a little extra. And we want to make it more than just a gift, not gift, coupon code to our website and a sticker. So, are you setting up?
Mhm.
All right. After the talk, the club took us to their local aquarium. I think it was Premium
Yeah.
Aquatics, or something like that.
Premier Aquatic.
Very nice
Aquarium.
fish store. Very friendly staff. I always feel awkward going into places that I'm not really there to purchase anything, but that's not true, because if they had a piece of aquascape that really stuck out, I would have purchased it. If they had if I had seen shrimp nets, I would have purchased one. I don't know if I looked at nets at all or saw a net section at all. I would have remembered to buy a net from them if I had just, dang it.
Yeah, we were
I'm
too
upset. I
busy
broke
looking
my
at the
rule.
fish.
And then
Honestly.
everybody was hungry, and I was like, all right, let's go get food. Let's figure this one out. Very, very nice fish store. If you're in that area, please go check that out. And they had beautiful nudibranchs in the saltwater section, a bunch of pipefish, and a nice little puffer fish. So really nice saltwater section. Freshwater section had a lot of different fish. They did have some shrimp and a nice little aquascape section too, with a little aquascape tank also on display. So definitely like to see those little stores. Nothing like that near us in Florida. There are stores like that in Florida, but sadly not within like an easy day's drive for us.
What?
It just seems like you're doing the same thing. So
I'll figure it out.
after the aquarium, the club took us out to dinner. Very nice dinner. Latina Mexican fusion. Kind of, it was like Colombian Mexican fusion. I think it had other dishes too, but very, very good food. Then from there, we got the pleasure of going over to Zach and Laura's house and seeing their aquariums. I think they had 140 aquariums, some beautiful Shiner aquarium that they had right up front. Lots of Pseudomagills. I don't think I've ever seen so many Pseudomagills. He's breeding a bunch of different varieties of them. He had the Luminatus, which is one of our favorite ones, and a couple of other different varieties too. He had a bunch of shrimp, of course. He had a basement, which has more square footage than our entire house. So I was, of course, jealous of that. They were breeding some quails, so the kids really enjoyed that. Myra enjoyed the quails the most. Zach brought one out, and Myra got to pet it, and I think that's the most fun she had. Even at the aquarium, I don't think she had as much fun as she did enjoying the quail that Zach brought out. But he had Achilles. He had, help me out, Shelby. I'm spacing.
Oh, rainbow fish.
Oh, well, yeah, lots of rainbows on top of the Pseudomagills.
Yeah, the Pseudomagills were beautiful. There was a lot of fish.
He had a couple of different rice fish setups were really nice.
Lamp.
He had some of the isopod setups on the table, which now Shelby wants to set up some on the counter. And I've always told everybody she's the problem. I didn't come home from Atlanta going, yeah, I need to set up this and this and this. Shelby did. Trying to think. He had a lot of stuff that he was breeding and growing out in different cories. When we first got to the club meeting, I immediately realized Zach was there because of all the bags he had on the auction table of fish and plants. So he's definitely doing something right. He had his brine shrimp setups and a bunch of different experiments and different things that he had going on, and 3D printed a bunch of the little breeder trays and egg catchers and a bunch of different things. You can see he's really passionate about the hobby. And then on top of that, he's been in the hobby for a while, but only been taking it serious for 2 years. And he's gotten up to 140 aquariums, and he's got room for a lot more, and a lot of empty tanks and a lot of just collected equipment. And he had like some 125s that he was about to set up and a bunch of different things. I was most jealous of his Kellogg's bins that he had outside, which he got from a farmer who used them to store grain that they used to sell to Kellogg's. They're much thicker than IBC totes, and I think he got them for about the same price, if not cheaper than what I was able to get my IBC totes for. So those are definitely cool. But by far the best thing and he not the best thing, but he also had the pinball machines, which the kids had a blast playing with. But the best thing was I got my mini cooking set here. So it came with so far, and we already schemed up a couple of other things. So I'm not going to ruin any spoilers with anything going forward. But basically the only thing that I had really wanted was a mini knife. So that way I can cut the fruits into like normal human pieces and then get this knife out and cut it into shrimp size food. It's custom made. It's got a black walnut handle. I'm looking at it. I should be showing you guys. But he sharpened it, and we were at the aquarium and got Myra a little stuffed animal, and we had to cut the tag off of it. And we didn't have any scissors, but Zach had already given me this knife, and it sliced right through it like butter. So just this right here was more than I could have asked for. It is exactly what I wanted. Me and Shelby have been looking for like mini cooking sets and just little different things, and everything's like that. When it's this size, it's like dull plastic quality. Like you're not cooking with it. This is high quality. I'm going to make some micro master chef meals with Layla with this thing. So this was item number one. Number two was a complete bonus, because when I was thinking about mini things in the cooking series, I didn't think of a mini spatula at all. And look at this thing. I mean, that is so nice, custom made with the black walnut handle. And yeah, there's a lot of different things that I've already got on my mind that I want to cook with this, but I need to figure out how to make things float. Sink, like stop them from floating. If you didn't see the live stream, and I still need to clip that. I need to go back to that live stream, clip that, make that into a short where we made the sherbet, and I froze it in a bowl, and I knew the bowl would float. I knew the sherbet would float. So I glued it to a rock, and as soon as the temperatures in the tank started to melt the sherbet, it blew up to the top and exploded like a nuclear bomb went off in the tank. And it was a great effect, but like it doesn't do the food justice when I'm trying to figure out how much of it the shrimp are eating and give it a proper rating. So I gave Zach a couple of ideas that I had for the set moving forward, and he's like, oh man, that's great. So mini spatula is freaking awesome. I'm gonna have to like put these into a container with a dehumidifier type of setup, because I do not want these to rust. I want to take as best care of these as I possibly can. The next thing is definitely something that I wanted for the series, and that was a little skillet. Zach, I should have taken a quail egg and cooked the quail egg on this as the first thing. Shelby was like, oh no, what if it was a fertile, I'm sorry, Shelby's doing things. I thought we lost you. I don't know if this is making us lag or what.
No,
okay.
fine. Just keep going.
But uh, the mini skillet is
That thing's so
awesome.
cute.
All of them are made with this custom black walnut handle, but I already PUBG'd Jaden with it earlier today.
Pretty hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, do not treat my skillet like that. But he even seasoned it already. And yeah, phenomenal craftsmanship for something that I really didn't take that seriously until Oinky gave us the cutting board. And then from that, I talked about this, and Zach was like, I can do it. And now it's in my hands, and we were super busy today getting orders out and then getting ready for the live stream. So I wasn't able to film with it today. I got the taxes done last week, and I'm going to get the bins on the side of the house running tomorrow. And then when Layla and Jaden get home from Minecraft Club, me and Layla are cooking something on this skillet. I'm telling you what, it would have been cool if it was a quail egg, but I'm not waiting for a quail egg to put this thing into action. So last but not least is a wok, not a skillet, a wok. So I don't know.
These are seasoned, by the way.
Taken care of. I don't know if I can cut rice into
You should do the shrimp
smaller
in that.
rice and then make some fried rice.
Shrimp fried rice.
But sadly, these will probably be used to cook a shrimp also.
Not our shrimp, though.
Yes.
Get out of here.
I will wait for an
welcome in,
adult
Scotty.
to be on its way out, and then I will use that one to cook with. But yeah, I can't wait to put these things into action. These things are phenomenal. Thank you, Zach, so much. I'm really happy with them. After we went to Zach's, we went to an ice cream place. All they had was Hershey's ice cream. I wasn't getting Hershey's ice cream, and they had some phenomenal cheesecakes on the rack. But it was a great night. And by far, the best thing of the whole trip, though, was getting this little mini set for me. I've been looking forward to these for so long. And Zach, you did not disappoint at all. He said he was worried, and I have no fear, Zach. There is zero disappointment. I can't wait until we get more of the pieces for the set. It's just going to make things more interesting, I think, for the videos and everything moving on. Who knows? Maybe Zach will make a bunch of little mini ones, and we sell them, and they have like TGOE engraved in them or something like that. We sell them as little merch. Who knows? I just be spitballing ideas sometimes.
We're getting there.
This is so complicated for me.
I know, this is crazy.
I'll never be able to do this.
It's so stupid. It's taking me forever to figure it out.
I'm completely computer illiterate now. Like, I can play games, but doing this, I don't want to have to add.
Simple for me.
I don't want to have to add code to anything.
It's not
anymore.
code. It's just.
This isn't freaking Facebook or MySpace. MySpace.
Oh, I just
MySpace.
But I really do appreciate Laura for helping me out. Zach said these old lady names are wild. I love older names. Like, they're becoming more rare, so you could recycle them. But a lot of them are really, really wild, and I haven't been able to. I feel like Myra's not really used very often, or that might just be a regional thing. But I do love.
We found 2 Myras so far.
Yeah, which is crazy. But I really like older names, but I gotta find the right older name that Grant's gonna like, because he didn't like the couple of them. Like Loretta runs in my family, and I kind of look like a Loretta. I think my daughter would look. Layla or Myra definitely don't look like Loretta's, but Henrietta's too far for me.
Me and Layla have already agreed. It's Layla, Myra, and the next one needs to be also. It has to go with the.
Yeah, the next one could be Lyra.
No.
But
that one's already
actually,
been written off.
which is funny because Myra, I was trying to think of the name Lyra from what is it? The Golden Compass. It's a good movie if you've ever seen it. Okay, Bob Steamfight might, yeah, they're pretty good at something like that. James said, I definitely listened to the podcast. Thank you. This sounds exciting. Jesse, I love that. No, Patricia. So I love the name Patricia. Laura, you're the best. We found out one day we had been using the name Patricia for a little while. We were sitting at his best friend's house, and we just call her grandma. She's always been our grandma. We're part of the family kind of thing. And I saw her mail, and I was like, Grant, her name's Patricia. We didn't know this whole time. It was so funny. Also, Optimum. I thought it said opium.
You never told people why we
Optimum.
use Patricia. The kids were talking smack to one another, and one day we found out that Layla was calling Jaden Patricia, and then Jaden was calling her Randall. So like whenever we play video games and they get all mad and act unsportsmanlike, we will call them their respectable name. So Patricia is Jaden's name when he
Have a good night, Larry.
isn't very sportsmanlike. Good night, Larry.
Zach said Achilles Live Bears, Pistos.
Oh,
I
how
saw
did
the
I-
Pistos.
How did I forget the discus? The discus on the
they were
back
like
wall were
amazing.
beautiful.
They were
Oh,
so
man.
beautiful. And they have these little babies that have so much pattern and character to them. Sometimes it gets overwhelming. Like when you come to our house, it's like, yeah, they had shrimp. I don't even know what else they had. But like their house had so much variety that it's hard to remember everything that was in there. And it's beautiful discus too. The Pseudomagills, the Quarries, Tetras, and Plecos. Yeah, there was so much, and they were beautiful, and there was a lot. I enjoyed the discus were really cool. I was talking about them. I wish I could do discus, but I just don't. If we had a big tank, a big schooling tank like Ruben had in his shrimp pimpin' video, that's how I would do discus too. I'll send you some quail eggs. I don't remember how did we get quail eggs last time? We had quail eggs and we fed them to
Messina is the only one I know we would have gotten quail eggs from.
I don't remember why. No, so a subscriber sent them to us in a box. They were de-egged. There was no egg in it. It was just a shell for our isopods.
I don't remember that ever happening.
Mm-hmm. Had them in a bag forever. I used them specifically for my isopods. I just don't remember who gave it to us now. Have you guys tried seaweed strips for shrimp food? No, but we should. Because we have an Asian market right there, and I'll find any excuse
This
to go
is
there.
something that you need to comment on, and everybody needs to start commenting on our mini shrimp chef series. If you want us to try feeding something, comment on the videos, because then we can take your comment and use it when we do those videos. So you get credit, and I think that's a good way to get involved with the community and whatnot. So somebody just commented cucumber question mark on the zucchini video with no other context to it at all. So we're gonna do cucumber and then have his comment on it. So
Cucumber.
yeah, looking forward to it. Need to buy a cucumber though. It's never on the grocery plans. So the next day, we met Laura and Zach at the Georgia Atlanta Aquarium, and it was an overall really nice aquarium. But when you look at things from a perspective that we do, I was a little disappointed in a lot of the aquariums. Shelby's like, oh, this aquarium is like $20 more than this one, and da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, you're paying for the whale shark. No other aquarium has whale sharks. And the whale shark exhibit is honestly the coolest exhibit in any aquarium that we've ever seen. But it is one of those things where it's cool, but it's also really sad when you hear and know how many whale sharks gone through. I believe that this is the last whale shark and they won't be getting more of them. Um, it's so cool seeing him breach and swim around and stuff, but he's definitely circling and circling and circling and not swimming in big laps like the beluga whales were. And you can kind of tell like the muscle mass was built up on one side, and there's something wrong with the whale's tail because of another shark or something nipped on it. It was definitely like a bite or an injury. I doubt that's from it swimming in the same direction, but it's so cool to see the manta rays, and there's so many other sharks and things that I think would be all right in that aquarium and make it a better experience if the whale shark wasn't there. It's just sad to see whales overall in setups, and even though it's the size of a football field, I think it should be the size of 3 football fields before they had started. Like, it still didn't seem enough for the whale. And then there's also a tunnel that runs through it, and it doesn't look like there's even enough room for the whale to swim over it. And it definitely did, because they said they fed it on the other side, and it's the bigger viewing screen, so you would think that the whale would be there more. So it's sad. One of the exhibits was shut down. We talked about the cherry shrimp, which was a very beautiful tank, especially to have a planted aquascape with shrimp in it at an aquarium is just cool overall. A lot of the exhibits, besides the whales, were just fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. There's more than enough space for everything. Everything seemed like it had more than enough filtration. But we wanted more freshwater stuff, and the whole exhibit that was shut down was all freshwater. So we missed out on that. But there's a ton of space in this aquarium that is just not being used in a efficient manner, in my opinion. Like, people want to see aquariums, they want to see as much fish and different setups as possible, especially when you come from a hobby side like us. But I think even the common folk don't want to go to an aquarium just to see TV screens and projections of just like basic reefs and like desktop screensaver style stuff, where you easily could have put like a bunch of 2-foot aquariums. Like, I'm not talking 2 foot wide or long. I'm talking like deep off of the wall, 2 feet, and could have stacked a couple of them tall and done different varieties of not just freshwater but saltwater fish and invertebrates and other things like that, and just had way more to spread the people out, to get more people in. Like, we have 500 aquariums in an 1,100 square foot home, so maybe it's just me going, they could have put more tanks here. And I'm talking like easy locations that they could have moved things around to fit more stuff. There is a stingray touch tank in the back and a sturgeon touch tank that easily could have been in the center. There is nowhere for you to sit near the only area to get pretzels and have a snack. Like, we had to go to the second story to the cafeteria to go sit after we had bought a snack just halfway through, just to get the kids something to keep going, right? So overall, the way the layout was, the amount of aquariums that they could have added or had, or things that they just could have done to make the overall experience of the aquarium better, was why I was disappointed. But it is still an experience that I think everybody should go see. If you haven't seen the whale shark exhibit, go see it before it's gone, because most people don't have the ability to go to like Hawaii or whale watching on a boat. So you should definitely go see that in the aquarium while it's still there. I think the kids really enjoyed it. They had a good time. Even though the whale shark wasn't at the main aquarium viewing glass, I can't remember, the Voyager aquarium or is what they called it. I think, I don't know. Supposedly built by Home Depot, but it's still like a huge aquarium, and to see the different sharks and rays swimming was amazing. And they had another really beautiful reef tank. Also, sadly, the bioluminescence exhibit was only half an exhibit. There's on the ceiling a bunch of bacteria that they blast air through to make it all illuminate, and that wasn't working or on at all. But they did have these bioluminescent fish that were like really shining these lights. I don't remember what kind of fish they were, but gorgeous. Like that was one of the coolest exhibits I think I've seen in an aquarium that was that size, right? Um, there's some really healthy, large Amore eels, maybe some of the largest ones I've ever seen. Not sure. The dolphins looked really healthy and really cool. Um, but it was really cool to walk around and talk crap and go ooh and ah with Zach and Laura and hang out with them. And overall, it was a great experience. I think I set my standards a little bit too high when it came to the Georgia Aquarium and how it's like the best, one of the biggest, and da 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 da. And I think I'm going to be more excited to go back to the Florida Aquarium and maybe have some more respect for our local attraction, or go, oh no, maybe it was better than we thought. And the Shed Aquarium is just really, really nice because that one really left an impact on us. But I think we got just as much out of the Georgia Aquarium as we did at Scotty's Aquarium in Jersey without the official Scotty tour. With the official Scotty tour going behind the scenes and everything like that, that's by far the best experience at an aquarium I think we've had to date. The Pittsburgh Aquarium, where we got to go behind the scenes and feed the sea turtles, was cool and all, but no, the Scotty tour was by far the best one yet. It's going to be hard to beat that. The Monterey Aquarium will be cool too once we can finally get to that.
We've heard that I really want to go to the Tennessee Aquarium because I've heard from multiple people that it's really nice. The way it's laid out is like a cool way to go. So
I'd be
very
down,
excited for that.
I'd be down even like on the way home from Chicago, stopping there and going to that one day if it's like when the kids aren't in school or something like that. If we can get it to line up on the way home from Ohio Cichlid Association, the OCA. We gotta attend that this year.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out OCA, AGA, ACA, the coast thing. Oh man, bunch of different things. Is Fishtoberfest in the books this year? Possibly. I don't know. We gotta look into all that. But this is like one of our last years to travel. If it's not Aquashella and it's not like got an aquarium and it's going to be super family friendly for us to travel, I don't know if we're going to be doing many shows out of our realm, because with 2 babies, it's going to be a little much. 1 baby is already a little much.
Yeah.
She's not cooperating like the first 2 babies did. That is for sure. I thought she would enjoy the aquarium a lot more. And I think we would have also enjoyed it maybe a little bit more too if she would have just been more ooh and ah. Instead, she just wanted to go to the stairs and play and jump off of each step. Like, she is more mobile. And there wasn't a playground. I totally expected there to be like a playground, like most zoos and Yeah, I think even Scotty's, they had
Yeah,
at
they
least a
usually-
little kid
that would be
area.
weird. That is
like,
weird that they didn't have.
yeah,
I mean, they had the touch tank. What was that next to the touch tanks with the little lights going around? That
it was
wasn't an
lame.
area.
It was no. It was just like
Like a walkthrough.
it was like, hey kids, don't touch the water in any of our other aquariums, but you can touch this water. But it wasn't like anything cool, or it was just touch the water. That was it. There was nothing interactive like for the kids. Like if there's a slide or a little jungle gym, or like put the puzzle pieces together, or something like that. The drawing on the fish was cool, but that's like more for like ages 5. You know what I mean? Not for like kids, babies, and toddlers.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna figure this out tonight. You want to catch up
I'm trying
in
so
chat?
hard.
I
suck. I really tried. Okay. Hey, people always ask if we eat our shrimp. There you go. Oven and pot coming soon. I thought it was a soup ladle. It's so tiny. It could be used as a soup ladle. Welcome in, Justin Clemente. She's too cute, aren't they? Cooking class. Ella's a cute name. Blanche. I couldn't do that. Blanche Eater. I love the Golden Girls. It's a good show. So what I'm hearing is isopods like quail egg shell. Yeah, good source of calcium for them. It worked really well.
Yeah,
but now I
Shelby-
definitely want little plastic containers for in front of my sink for isopods again, because obviously our terrarium for the dart frogs are going to have isopods. So I just thought it was fitting if I kind of get it more terrestrial plant vibe in the kitchen, because I really don't want to put a tank in front of there again. It can't hold the weight, but I can put little terrariums there, and isopod terrariums would be a little cute. I could put little fairy houses in it. It would be cool to have a bunch of aquascape tanks throughout the aquarium. Yes. See, there was a lot of misuse space in there. I think you were talking about that already. Yeah. But now this dinging's going on. I don't know where that's coming from. I think it's every time a comet comes in now.
Somebody clip this, though. Like, I'd totally be down if somebody wanted to invest to do the largest aquarium in the world. And, like, we could probably do more gallons in less space than what they already have out there. But you're trying to maximize potential viewing possibility. Like, one of my biggest pet peeves, though, was there was several viewing spots that were blocked. Like, they had one thing where, like, the viewing of the fish, like, there was a bunch of schooling fish. Like, okay, but, like, why not have, like, a little rail or steps to go up a little bit higher so you can view it at eye level and possibly see the whale shark swim by or something like that.
About it. It's one less window for them to clean.
Yeah, but still, like, they should have more people maintaining more aquariums and keeping up with glass, and less people trying to, hey, sir, let me get your photo. Come on, whole gang over here. Go buy this over there. Like, you should have one person doing that and not force people, because most of the people who want to do that are going to go and wait in line to get that done. Other people are just like, oh, God, I got to do this again and get through it. Like, and nobody goes to the people afterwards to check out unless they were serious about it in the first place. To me, there should be less people there. The gift shops are needed. I get that, but you don't need 2 gift shops. Like, they didn't need 2. They could have just done a display in that gift shop and had everything all in one gift shop. And it's the exit anyways. You're going to go through it. So.
Kelly said the aquarium in Chattanooga is pretty nice too. It has more freshwater things.
That's what Shelby was already talking about, going to that. Or is that not the Tennessee aquarium?
That's a Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay. I thought maybe there's 2 different ones. Like the Chattanooga one's separate.
I know of. There might be another one in Tennessee.
The Chattanooga one.
No.
All right.
You just said the Chattanooga one
different
from the Chattanooga
all right.
one.
You know what I meant. All right. I swear I heard Ed say, like, the Tennessee one sucks, but the Chattanooga one's great.
Yeah, so different going to a professional aquarium after being in the hobby for a couple of years. Some of it is so impressive. Yes, for sure. I would say there's a lot that's impressive, and then there's some that let you down because you're like, well, this could be better. Or like we visit a lot of different aquariums, and when I go to, we were just talking about those Pittsburgh Aquarium, right?
Mhm.
The Pittsburgh Aquarium has some of the nicest freshwater, awesome display tanks.
It's hard to remember which is which
Yeah.
because the Pittsburgh and the Shed both really had phenomenal freshwater setups.
Like you cannot beat them. But then you go
But the Pittsburgh
to,
only had like 2 or 3. It wasn't many.
but they were
The ones that they
enormous
had
and
were beautiful.
beautiful,
yes.
like over the top, like Amazon rainforest.
And the
a
Shed
display.
had an entire Amazon
But-
rainforest
Right, the Shed was so
aisle.
nice.
So
But then you got the Georgia Aquarium, because we are more heavily freshwater. Those do stand out to us. But then you got that huge. They have a huge coral display aquarium. Like that's where, if you see my post, Myra's dancing in front of it. I mean, it was breathtaking, and it didn't need to have giant fish for me to enjoy it. It was just colorful and
that was
5,000 tanks.
that was
and-
the reef tank that I talked about. That was
Oh.
also beautiful and really nice. One of the best displays that I had seen. But
I've never
if it
went in
weren't
salt
for
water
those
more than
two
this.
displays, there really wasn't anything memorable. Like they had an
The sea
electric
dragons were
eels.
beautiful.
That tank was like beautiful scape and everything with the
Yeah,
red
sea
tiger
dragons were
lotus.
crazy.
But back to like the viewing obstruction, the whole Home Depot Voyager whale shark tank, the very first window, while you're walking up to it, has a freaking rock that's blocking like a quarter of the view. And if you're not in that little cubby around that rock, you're not going to be able to see much. So
Obviously.
there's certain rocks that could have been
That's a
trimmed a
rule.
little bit. But I would like to know where to get those rocks from Home Depot at.
I like the Clearwater Aquarium near you. Do you know I've never been there?
What?
The Clearwater Aquarium. And I've
I
never
know
been to
I
the Tarpon
have.
Springs one either.
I know that one I have,
It's
but like
sponge
the
docks. It's not
Clearwater
really big.
one. See, there's the Clearwater Aquarium, and I
No,
think
actually,
there's
I have been.
I think there's
Wasn't
a
memorable.
research and rescue
Yeah.
rehabilitation center, and I don't know which one's which, and I don't know if I've been to both or just one. So but it's part of my middle school field trips. I've gone to that.
It was the fish coloring and spotting water spot. Yeah. Yeah.
Also-
the fish coloring was fun.
Also, though,
That's what we
They
should
put-
play on the screen.
they put me in a bad attitude before we even got
Oh.
into the aquarium because I already had a ticket. The Atlanta Aquarium Society. I was supposed to do this talk 6 years ago, and we had already had like pre-approved tickets for the whole family. At the time, there was less of us, but Myra was still free. Maybe Layla would have been free back then. I'm not sure, but we had to cancel it all because of COVID. So I was like, hey, is you guys still have a deal with the aquarium? I don't think the same person that works with the aquarium or whatever connection they have, but the club still got me a ticket and a free parking pass. So I was covered. But then Shelby goes to buy her tickets from the kiosk, which they only have kiosks. They do not have people actually selling tickets. So more people to clean glass. Where were they? The Penguins, please.
Yeah.
Uh,
Those penguins are jerks.
but
They
the
did that on
tickets didn't print, and it didn't give us a receipt either. Like, at least have a separate printer or a thing like, oh, take a picture of this if your tickets didn't print
Yeah.
to rush you through the thing. We had to wait in line for like 20, 30, 40 minutes, maybe
That was
tops.
a while.
To if it was a full hour, I would have complained and got
It was like
and
20,
asked
30.
like for some
One
type of
person.
reimbursement because the
customer
exhibit was
service.
closed as well. No, there was two,
Well,
but
yeah.
one of them was only to manage the line, not actually help people.
There you were like,
What's
okay.
going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours, I don't think there's a single one that I haven't been to that there's at least 2 to 3 people, if not 4 people at the customer service desk to help you out.
Even
to make sure
Scotty's
it's smooth.
aquarium
Yeah.
had multiple
2
people
or 3, yeah.
at each desk though,
Yeah.
and there's a couple desks depending
just
on
doesn't
whether
make
you're
sense.
members or not, which I don't think nearly
line
as
was-
many people go as members to the Georgia Aquarium as
Oh,
they do
for
Scotty.
sure.
I don't know.
But
It's
there was a
there's
line
nobody at
wrapped.
member services.
Well, no, the one person in front of us were members. They were updating their membership like address,
And they still had to
something
go
else.
to guest
There
services.
was no one at
though?
member services.
That's what I was saying. There's
So
nobody-
everyone was
that's-
at guest
that's so dumb.
services because there was only one person helping. So crazy to pay almost double of what we pay for our aquarium and get less service.
But that's
so
what
that
you
was
pay
crazy.
for whale sharks,
Yeah.
and it is worth the whale shark. But you need to get there before the whale shark's gone, because what are they going to do
Yeah.
after the whale shark's gone? It
I mean,
doesn't
the manta
have.
rays are very worth it to me.
The
That was
manta rays are
insane.
beautiful,
Insane
but
to
it's
see how
not.
big they
It's
were.
not a draw.
It is for me.
Okay.
I would go for that. If they had like 4 or 5 of them because they could fit it in there without the tiger shark, hell yeah.
It wasn't a tiger shark. It was a zebra shark.
What?
They had a zebra shark in there. There's no tiger shark in there. Was there a tiger shark in the whale shark tank?
I thought there was.
Oh, it was a zebra shark.
I think I'm getting confused with the whale shark. There was a tiger shark in there. 100%.
That wasn't in there.
100% was in there. You can ask Jaden.
Now look up full-grown zebra shark.
Tiger sharks. Yeah, Predatories of the Deep exhibit.
But in the shark exhibit, not with the whale shark.
No,
That's what
I
we're
didn't say
talking.
it was in the whale shark.
If
did
there
I?
wasn't a tiger shark with the manta rays, that's what we're talking about. Is that exhibit? And the only shark that was like really in there
the whale. Okay.
was they had a zebra shark,
Yeah.
which the zebra sharks have spots on them as adults. So I thought that might be what you're thinking of, but no, the zebra shark was the only one.
Leopard shark.
It was a zebra shark because I know no leopard had way too big of spots. It was a zebra shark because I saw it on the screen and I remembered, oh, it's a zebra shark. When they're babies, they have the stripes, but that was a full-grown one swimming around
Or
the
was
tank.
this one then? I saw this.
I never saw it. I don't know. The big one that was
There's too
swimming
many
around with
tabs
the
open with
spots.
stupid
The
stream
big
of
ones
stuff.
that were swimming around with the spots were the zebra sharks.
How fun would it be to do an aquascape competition in there and then leave them behind? That would be awesome. Like the winner gets their aquarium in there. Oh, that'd be so good. I would cry for days though if I lost. I wouldn't be able to like live it down. I would be like, I have to come back next year. I'm gonna have to find someone and talk to them about rescaping a tank, and I will fly up there. I'll do a whole video for YouTube. I feel like we could do that. And I could get it all sponsored. That would be so cool. The piranha display was the best, and guess what? I missed that one altogether.
Yeah, the piranha display was in the exhibit that was shut down, but I'm of course going to go as far as I possibly can without getting in trouble. So I was peeking over the blinds, and you can see, and it's not even peeking over the blinds. There was like barely anything covering it up, and you can pretty much see most of the piranha tank. But then on the other side was complete construction. There was beams and everything like that all over the floor. So you can tell they're working on the exhibit. Maybe the piranha was a one that was already there before they started construction, but it's definitely sad that when you're going to definitely see more of the freshwater aspect, and that's the whole wing, main wing that's shut down. But what was even more depressing was everything else we talked about.
Sibley Warrior, how are you doing? Said, happy to be back. Took a little break. Wanted to ask, I have a 9-rack system and wanted to set up a siphon system to make water changes easier. Any advice or caution? Thanks.
I have not found, and are we talking like an automated water change system where you just basically pull a lever and it drains your tanks for you? I have personally not found any method without like drilling from the bottom of the aquarium or running a stem out of the side where you drilled to the bottom. And then beyond that, having issues with the siphon breaking and everything like that. So I've got to like put together a couple of test methods and stuff like that. But personally, I find it just easy to go through the tanks, use a siphon, and be able to pull the water from the bottom of the water column. Filling the tanks up, though, having the little adjuster valves behind the tanks, those are something I approve of. But a little siphon system, I don't have anything that I'd recommend. I've seen quite a few of them done already, and every one of them I have a flaw that I find that I don't want to implement it into my system.
I have too many tabs now. All right.
So taxes are done. I am going to be started tomorrow on getting another run of IBC totes set up and going, so that next year we can sell to more wholesale and meet more demand for all shrimps throughout the entire year. Greens and what else sells out? Like ocean blues will get a good
Reds.
good going. We had reds pretty much all year last year. No,
Not enough fire reds. We had to take
So-
those off the website a couple times.
we're gonna mass produce more neos than we ever
Want
have
reallys.
starting tomorrow.
I want to
So
be able to
we should
provide
do-
reallys for next year. I
we
could
should
do
do
carbon
reallys
reallys, but it
in the
takes me
new
forever.
when we reset the ponds in the greenhouse, those ponds should be really ponds,
Really,
and then
really.
the other
really,
ponds should be all solid on the other side,
Really.
because there's not going to be much culling and work involved in those. Those will be the wholesale ponds. So I really appreciate all of you. We have Johnny Best, of course, with the $5 super chat, and Kelly, the new member, and then also
Sibley.
Sibley. We'll get you your new members discount code. Email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com, and Shelby will get that sent over to you.
I did want to take a minute. I didn't get to speak because I was too busy with the StreamYard. I do want to say that Zach and Laura were absolutely awesome and very similar to us. You got to follow their content, and they are great people, best friends now from away from home. I wish they lived closer because they were truly some of the best people to get along with. Enjoyed the whole night. We played pinball with Laura while Grant and Zach hung out, and Zach kind of just felt like it was like Grant's brother. It was so strange how well we mashed together, from one fish crazy people to another. Thank you so much for your hospitality this weekend, and it truly was fun to get to know you and hang out with you.
Absolutely had
So
a
thank you.
blast.
I didn't get
Wish
to
you
say-
guys weren't so far away, but you're more than welcome to come over whenever you get the opportunity.
Thank you guys. You have a wonderful night.
Appreciate y'all. See you next